for stopping by my channel. My name is Shiloh and I'm a cross stitcher and knitter living in Nova Scotia, Canada. You can find me on Instagram as @Xstitchmd and on Ravelry as @Dr. Shiloh. That's Dr. Shiloh. In the description box below, I'll have a link to both of my social media profiles, as well as a link to all of the projects I talk about today, in case you happen to be enabled and want to purchase them for yourself. I was supposed to record this past Sunday, but I was waiting for a piece I had dropped off at the framer to get finished, and it wasn't quite ready yet, so I waited to film until today, and thankfully they called me to let me know it was ready. I am not quite off for Christmas holidays yet. I am still working this week, but I was on call last night, so I had the day off today, which is wonderful. I'm working tomorrow, then have Christmas Day off, and then I'm working Boxing Day night, and then I am off until January 4th, so I'm very excited about that. In case you're new to my channel, I am a psychiatry resident, which means I finished medical school and I'm now completing my training to become a psychiatrist. And at the end of this month marks officially halfway until I am done, so that's very exciting. It's a 5-year residency program total, and I am halfway through my 3rd year. All right, so that's enough about work. Let's start off with the main event, which is my framed piece. I literally just picked it up from Michael's about 20 minutes ago, and I am so excited with how it turned out. So this is the pattern Hello Dear by Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and it was a stitch along. And sorry for just whacking the camera. And here it is. So I love how this turned out. My nails nicely match the frame. This turned out so nice, and I'm so happy with it. I just got the regular glass, so you can see there's a bit of a glare, but to me, it's not really worth the extra $30 it is for the non-glare glass. So I just got the regular glass. I got one mat, which is this nice brownie color, and I love the color of this frame, the reddish frame. I think the finished size of this is like 13 by 16 or 14 by 18, something like that, with the frame and the mat. And I got this custom framed at Michael's. It was on a 55% off sale, which is the only time I will ever get stuff framed there when it's on sale. And with the sale, it came to $74 Canadian, which, okay, framing is not cheap, but definitely better than spending $150. So I'll just put a close-up of this. So I stitched this with all the called for materials. Sally from Caterpillar Cross Stitch very kindly gifted me the kit. So it's stitched with DMC floss on 28 count white even weave. And how cute is it? So I'm so excited to put this up, and it's just gonna be up for all of winter. I decided it's not just a Christmas piece. So it is so cute, and I am so happy with how they did it. They did an awesome job stretching it and mounting it. The back is nicely sealed, and one thing Michael's has started doing lately is doing this hanging system, which is really cool, where you mount on either side instead of the wire, which I find it makes it hang a lot more straighter. It's not crooked when it's hanging, basically. So that is my Hello Dear framed piece, and I'm so excited about it. So yay. Speaking of Caterpillar Cross Stitch, they have a new stitch along starting on January 25th, I think, 25th or 26th, and I'm so excited for it. So Sally again sent me the kit, which thank you so much, Sally, I really appreciate it. This one is called Made to Create, and we have the oh so intriguing blurry sneak peek preview here. I'll open it up just to show you the content. So I got the kit, which comes with all the DMC floss, which is all pre-sorted. Look at these colors on this cute little thread card. So these colors are beautiful. They're all DMC colors. And I got the 32 count linen for mine. There's a choice of, I think, 14 count Aida, 16 count Aida, or 32 count linen. So it's this lovely beigey color. To me, this looks like mocha, maybe light mocha is Zweigart linen. It's definitely a Zweigart linen. Comes with the needle and the color key. So the pattern is a PDF download. So you can purchase the chart as a PDF download on its own from the Hello Caterpillar, from Caterpillar Cross Stitch's website, and I'll have that linked below. Or you can purchase the full kit. Because it's like DMC floss and kind of just a neutral linen, it would be pretty easy to get that on your own if you already happen to have that in your stash. But it's awesome. I'm really excited for this. So it will be coming out 1 part per month over the next 6 months. So I think it runs from January to June. And I'm really excited. Sally has posted a couple sneak peeks on her Instagram, which look so cute, and I'm super excited. There also is a needle minder, which I need to take off of my current project because I couldn't wait, and it is adorable. So it says made to create. Is it not so cute? I love it. So I was like, well, using that right away, not waiting. And I think this is kind of like a sneak peek of part of the design too. I think there's a bobbin on it. So super cute. Only other thing I want to mention about that is there's, well, 2 things. One, there's a Facebook group you can join where people will be posting their progress. I'll have that linked below as well. And if you haven't joined the Stitch Along already and would like to, you can go to their website and use the code Xstitch10 for 10% off your purchase of either the kit, the needle minder, or the pattern. All right, that's everything about that. So I hope you'll join me. It looks like it's gonna be a really fun stitch. I'm someone that tends to do more like, I guess like samplers and monochromatic pieces, but I really enjoy stitching Hello Dear with all the different colors. And I'm super excited for Made to Create because look at these colors, like they're just beautiful. And on this fabric, like, it's gonna be so pretty. I'm excited. So that's starting January 25th. I'm also joining in on like 4 or 5 other sales. It's a bit ridiculous, but I will talk about those at the end. So stay tuned for more stitching content. In terms of actual stitching, I haven't done a ton of stitching over the past few weeks because I've been obsessed with knitting. Also knowing that I'm going to be doing a ton of stitching starting in January with all of my stitch alongs I'm joining, I decided to really focus on knitting this month. That being said, I do have a piece I am trying to get finished by the end of the year, and I think it is very possible, especially because I'll be off next week. So fingers crossed, but I think it is a definite possibility. So I'm just gonna take my needle minder off again and arrange things. Not prepared. So this pattern I'm working on is called Cirque de Coeurs, which is French for Circus of Hearts, and it is by Circles Designs, and it's available as a PDF download on their website, which is where I purchased my copy. And here it is. I am so close to finishing. I mean, I still have like a full quadrant left to do, but I mean, I'm close. Am I not close? I think last time I showed it, I had here done, so all this on the bottom is new. I am stitching this with Silks for You silk, and the colorway I believe is PR119. I'll link it below in case that's not the right color. And I got this as a partial hank. So Silks for You sells their silks as full hanks, which I believe are, oh goodness, now I'm just gonna be making this up. I don't remember how many yards it is, but it's a lot. I think it's 150 yards. Or as partial hanks, which are 75 yards. And I got the 75 yard set because 150 is a lot. So that's what I'm using. And I'm using 2 strands of silk over 2 on a 32 count even weave. I believe this is Murano, which is pretty similar to Monaco. It's like a bit of a thicker one, and I really, really like it. So I'll do a close-up of the part I stitched since last time, which was kind of this section here. Really, really pretty. And anyone that's like super eagle-eyed, I mean, if you notice this, I'm very impressed, but will notice that this little section right here, these 2 things, are actually supposed to be in the center. I totally did not pay attention to the pattern and I stitched them in the wrong spot, but thankfully on this pattern, each little section is like the same stitch count, I guess. So the 2 little designs that were supposed to go here, I'm just gonna put here and it'll all work out and it's fine. But just in case anyone's like, oh, it looks slightly off. Again, if you notice that, you have amazing eyesight and should, like, I don't know, be a pilot or something. All right, so that is my Cirque de Coeurs, which is coming along very nicely and will be finished by the end of the year. It will, it will, it will. I need to have a big finish before all of my new starts. Okay, speaking of all of the Cirque patterns, so there are 3 others, which are, I'm just gonna say them in English because I forget how to say it in French: Circus of Diamonds, Circus of Triangles, and Circus of Circles. And I wanna start all of them. Well, I wanna stitch all of them. So I just ordered from Silks for You recently the colors I'm gonna do the other 3 in. So I got like an emerald green, a royal blue, and a purple. So those are coming from Silks for You, which is in Australia. So that will be a bit of a wait for them to ship here, but I am hoping to start one of those pieces in the new year. I haven't decided which one yet, and I don't know what colors I'm using for which design, but my plan is to kind of stitch on them one at a time, and as I get them finished, go to the next one. So super fun. So that's my stitching. I have a whole bunch of knitting finishes. I actually have 3 knitting finishes, and one of them is a complete pair of socks. So like, who am I? That's amazing. I'll start off with the first one because this is something I have not shown on Instagram at all. And this is the Suburban Wrap, which is designed by Joji Locatelli. And I'll show you my yarn first before I show it. Okay, please be proud of me because I started and finished a shawl since my last video. And I blocked it and I wove in the ends. I think I need like some kind of award because is that not amazing? Like, I'm proud of myself. Makes up for my lack of stitching. Okay, so this pattern called for 3 yarns. 3 colors of yarn, and the ones I used, so the first one I used was this black, which is Knit Picks Alpaca Cloud Fingering Weight, and this is the colorway Thomas, and this is 100% superfine alpaca. So it's actually technically a lace weight, but I used it as a fingering weight, and that was fine. It comes as 50-gram balls, and there's 200 yards in a ball. So I used an entire ball and part of a second one, so I probably have, I don't know, this is probably like 20 or 30 grams left, so I still have a decent amount of that. The next color I used was this creamy white, and I lost the ball tag for this. I know it's a yarn that's no longer being produced. It was Americo Yarns, and that was a Canadian yarn producer, and my local needlework shop, LK Yarns, had kind of bought out her stock when she retired or closed up or whatever, and so I bought this from my local needlework store. And this yarn is a fingering weight, and it's a mixture of, I think it's wool, linen, and silk, maybe some cashmere too. So it's like, has some like slubs in it, kind of like linen does, right? I don't know if you can see that at all. Maybe you can see some of the slubs there. So I used this, and this was 100 grams, and I think like 437 yards, and this is how much I have left after finishing the shawl. So not very much left of this. The last yarn I used was this gorgeous pinky, orangey, rose goldy yarn, and this is by Olive Park Yarns, which is a Canadian yarn dyer in Manitoba, Canada. And this is her Superwash Merino single ply. And then the colorway is called Betty. And this was 450 yards, 115 grams. So after knitting the shawl, I have this much left, which is quite a bit. I'm planning on knitting a cowl with this. I'll put in a picture here of the cowl I'm going to knit. So I'm excited. I think I should have enough left because this seems like a lot, but we'll see if I actually do. One thing I wanted to show for people that don't knit or know about knitting, just like when I talk about what single ply is. So I don't know if you can tell on this yarn, it's pretty thin and it does not really have a twist to it. This is just like, this is called single ply. There's only one ply of yarn or strand of yarn. It's not twisted against itself. This makes the yarn really, really soft, but it's not very sturdy. So if you were to use this for something like socks, it would get holes in it pretty quickly. But it's super soft and it's really nice for shawls. This yarn is not single ply, it's multi-plied. And if I separate it at the end here, this looks like it's 2-ply. Yeah, so you can see that there are two strands here that are twisted against each other. And that's kind of how most yarn is, unless you buy single ply. This tends to be a bit stronger and hold up better because of the twist in the yarn. Anyway, little education lesson there. Anyone that's better at knitting than me, anything I said that was wrong, please correct me in the description box below. Or sorry, in the comments below. Okay, enough about all the yarn I used. Let's show you my finished scarf / shawl / wrap because it is gorgeous, if I do say so myself. So this wrap, you started at the ends and knit your way along. So I'll just show it here. So this was super fun because there were all these different sections that you knit. So eyelets, some texture, eyelets, texture, some stripes, this beautiful lace, a little lace, more lace, stripes, eyelets, and it comes to a point. So point at one end, 2 ends at the other, kind of like an arrowhead. So this is, I think I measured it and it was 7 feet long. So you can wear it either, you know, toss like that. You could wear it just over your shoulders as like a nice cozy wrap. How I've been wearing it in the one day I've had it is I did a loop and put it through like that, which was super cozy to wear under my coat when I went to go pick up my package from Michael's. So that is my suburban wrap, and I am super happy with how it turned out. It is so soft. Alpaca yarn is extremely, extremely soft, so it is like so cozy to have. It's just so squishy and cozy, and I love it. So this actually knit up pretty quickly, and it's fun because each of the different sections have different like textures and patterns, which makes it really fun and makes you want to go along to the next part. So that is my suburban wrap, and it's kind of warm to wear it like that. It's better for outside, so I will just wear it like this. Maybe we can do it. Oh, look at this. I'm discovering all new ways. Okay, we'll wear it like that. So that is my suburban wrap, and it is called suburban wrap because the yarn called for in it is suburban stitcher yarn, but that's in the States and shipping is expensive, so I just used Canada yarn. Well, Knit Picks isn't Canadian yarn, but they have cheap shipping. Okay, enough about that. Let's go to, sorry for the camera. Let's go to the pair of socks I started and finished since last podcast, and that is my Christmas socks. So the yarn I used was Timber Yarns, and the colorway is called Vintage Christmas. So here's sock number 1. I used a mini skein of this red, which I forget what it's called, but it was a Timber Yarns mini that came with their 12 days of Christmas yarn. So it came with this red and the brown, and I decided to use the red for these. And here is my matching sock. So I managed to get the stripes to line up perfectly, which actually is not difficult at all to do. You just had to start at the same part of the repeat. And cool thing, this yarn comes as 2 50-gram skeins. So usually sock yarn comes as a 100-gram skein, but this comes as 2 separate balls. It only took me 1 ball to make both of these socks. So I have a whole other ball that I can make another pair of socks for someone, if I so felt. I wear a shoe size women's 7, and I made the leg a little bit shorter. I don't know, I just kind of got bored and decided that's how long I wanted the leg to be. But with this amount of knitting, I only needed 50 grams, plus I used the mini skein for the toes, heels, and cuffs. The cuffs are just 1x1 ribbing, stockinette, leg, a heel flap and gusset, and a Kitchener stitch toe. So those are my Christmas socks, and I am super excited to wear them on Christmas Day, which I will. I have not worn them yet because I want to wait till Christmas to wear them for the first time, and then I'll probably wear them every single day. So yeah, I finished a pair of socks. It's very exciting. Okay, I'm kind of been on a roll with socks lately, and so after I finished those socks, I cast on another pair like instantly, and by pair I mean single sock. So this next one, I'll show you, is also an Olive Park Yarns. Kind of on a little kick with her lately, and this was her multicolor yarn collection. Superwash merino, 80% and 20% nylon. And this came with a couple of mini skeins, and I chose this beautiful turquoise to do the cuff. I'm just gonna show it in little bits, the cuff. And then I chose this gorgeous one, which was the main skein, which is like a watercolory color for the actual sock itself. This little thing is called a Yarn Cozy, and it is by the Creative Knitter, and it's super cute. Okay, the yarn pattern this sock pattern I'm using, I believe is called Hidden Stairways, and it's a free pattern available on Ravelry by the same designer, Dreams and Fibers, who did the Hermione's Everyday socks. So she has a whole bunch of Harry Potter inspired sock patterns available for free, and this pattern is supposed to look like winding staircases, which represents like the staircase of Hogwarts. Is it not amazing? I love it. It's just knits and pearls, and I love how it's showing up in this variegated colorway. And then I did my heel, which is super cute in the turquoise, and I got pretty far down the leg or the foot, so I don't have that much left to go. And then I'll be doing the toe in this turquoise as well. So I just love this. It is so fun. The pattern is very easy to memorize, and goes pretty quickly. And I just love these colors together. Like this turquoise is showing up exactly on camera how it is in real life, and it's just so pretty. So that is the first of my hidden, it's either hidden pathways or hidden stairways, but I'll link it below. So if you want it, it's free. It's amazing. So yeah, that's super fun. I am still knitting my socks on my 9-inch circular needle. I use a US size 1 or a 2.25 millimeter needle. Just double checking that that's true. Yes. And I use, this is the Chiagu brand, which has a red cable and metal needles. I usually like using bamboo needles, but for my sock knitting, I use metal needles because the bamboo ones can break pretty easily. So yeah, I use double pointed needles when I'm doing my heel because that's done separately, and I also use double pointed needles when I'm getting down to the end of the toe because when you're decreasing, there's fewer stitches, and it's too few stitches to fit on the circular needle. They stretch out too much. So that is my sock. Is it not so cute? I was hoping to finish it before I podcasted today, but I wanted to finish this first too. So this will be finished before the end of the year for sure, and it'd be cool if I could finish the second sock before the end of the year, but that would just be bonus. So yeah, another sock. So it's a lot of socks. Okay, the last knitting project I have been working on is a sweater because I realized I did not have any sweaters on the needles, and that cannot be. So I came across this pattern, which is called the Felix Pullover by Savory Knitting. And it is a super easy worsted weight, or maybe it's Aran weight, I can't remember. I'm using a worsted weight yarn, but it's knitting at a pretty big gauge. And the yarn I am using is unpronounceable because I don't speak German. I think this is German. And this is the brand name. Someone please tell me how to say it. And this is the type of yarn. I'm sorry, I don't want to butcher it, and I feel like I would butcher it. So that's the yarn, and it is a 63% wool, 37% acrylic yarn, 100 grams, and 202 yards. I bought this yarn from Lovecrafts Knitting, which I'll link below. They have a bunch of kind of like big box brand yarns available, and they have like really good prices and cheap shipping. I bought this a while ago, and I was just kind of going through my stash, and I was like, I should knit something with this. I had like 5 balls of it. Okay, so here is my Felix pullover so far. It is so cute, and I love it. So it's really clever how it's done, because when you're knitting a sweater from the top down, you cast on for the neckline, and you knit it in ribbing, which looks super cute and is nice and stretchy. And then you have to start increasing for the shoulders. And so the way they did the increases is in this beautiful eyelet pattern, which is the same on the back. So it's like this nice little like lacy detail. So I finished that, and these are the sleeve caps. So this yarn here is just put on waste yarn, and I'll be picking it back up later to knit the sleeves. But I split for the sleeves, so that's done on both sides, and now I'm knitting the body. I think I need to knit 54 rows if my measurements are correct for the body, and I have like, what, 10 there so far? So I have quite a ways to go, but this is 1 ball of yarn that I've used so far, and I think I have 3 or 4 more balls, so I'll be totally fine for yarn. And I'm just super excited. This looks like it's gonna fit perfectly, which is amazing. And I'm really proud of myself too, because the neckline, I had to do what's called a provisional cast on, which I've never done before in my life. And it was very daunting, but I did it, and I think it looks really good, and I'm very happy with it. There's a couple different types of provisional cast-ons. I'll link below the one that I used, which did not involve a crochet hook because I'm very scared of crochet hooks. They look very difficult, and I don't know how to crochet. So the version of provisional cast-on I did used a knitting on with waste yarn, not crocheting. Anyway. It's probably way too much information for people that don't knit, but if you don't knit, you should, because it's really fun. And yes, I probably should learn how to crochet. One day I will. So that is my Felix pullover, and it is super cute, and I'm really enjoying knitting it. It knits up super quick because it's worsted weight yarn, so it's chunkier and bigger, and it knits up really quickly. So that is that. Okay, that is all the knitting stuff I have. So let's talk about my stitching plans. So January, there are a lot of new things starting, and I want to participate in all of them because FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. It is real. So I already told you about the Made to Create stitch along. So I am doing that. The next stitch along I am doing is by Jacob of Modern Folk Embroidery, and it is called Fruits of Plenty, I think. And it is gorgeous. I'm sure you've already seen it, but if you haven't seen it, check out Jacob either on his Flosstube channel, his Instagram, or his website to see more details about the design, and you can order it from his website. So it's a one-time purchase of, I believe, 18 pounds, something like that. And what that does is gets you a section of the chart released every month. So it is a monthly stitch along. It's a year-long stitch along with pieces released monthly. So every month on the first of the month, you'll be emailed the next kind of section of the chart. It is showing a couple of two different colorways and two different options. You can do the one option shown in the blue, which is kind of stitching around the motifs. So it's a lot more stitching, but I really like how that looks. Or you can stitch it in the other colorway, which is shown in red, and that's more stitching the individual motifs themselves. So it's a lot less stitching and less floss that you'll need. But I really like the look of the blue, and I think I'm gonna do that. I haven't decided though. I might do the blue style, but in red, I think. So, okay, hear me out. I have this wild idea that I wanna use this fabric. So this is Ash Rose linen from Traditional Stitches. So I get, oh, I didn't realize this was double bagged, that's weird. I'm a member of their 36 count Edinburgh Fabric of the Month Club. So this was the one I got, I can't remember, it was maybe a couple months ago. This is the color showing up really nicely here. So I was kind of thinking of doing like the burgundies, like look, see my nail color matches. It would look good, like the burgundy and like a lighter red on this, and it would totally fit on this. Or I will do the blue on this antique white. I have so many of these because I've been a member of this club for like a year and a half, and I have so many fat quarters of 36 count that are just begging to be stitched on. So either one of these I'm gonna do for my Modern Folk Embroidery stitch along. I just have not decided yet. Suggestions, thoughts, comments, welcomed. Okay, the next stitch along I will be doing is being hosted by Caroline from Off the Grid Needle Arts, whom is like my Flosstube stitching icon, I guess. She was one of the first Flosstubers I started watching, and I think she's amazing, and it just still gives me a thrill anytime she mentions me on her channel, because I'm like, it's Flosstube royalty talking about me, which is really nice. Anyway, Caroline is hosting a stitch along for a sampler, which is a, I want to say Vierlanden, but I'm probably saying it wrong, style sampler. And this pattern is by Xstitchmd, available on the Silk Stitching app. Some cool things to mention. Number one, the Silk Stitching app is iOS only, but they are making this chart available as a PDF download as well on their website. So you can either get it on the Silk Stitching app, which is amazing, and you can highlight. You can also print from the Silk Stitching app. That's a new feature they just added. So available on the Silk Stitching app, or available as a PDF download on their website. I'll link it below. Or you can buy it as a paper copy, pattern, hard copy from their website. They are located in Germany, so shipping might take a little while, but if you're okay with electronic charts or you want to use the app, I will be using the app, but it's nice that you also have the option now to print from the app if you want to. So this is the chart that we are stitching along together, and I just decided on my floss and fabric colors. So I'm doing a little bit different with mine. I think Caroline is doing hers in the blue, I think. Maybe she's changed her mind, but my plan is to do it in this color, which is Dark Chestnut by Cirque. I really like using Cirque for monochromatic samplers just because it's comes on a spool. You can get large quantities of it at once and make sure they're all the same dye lot. I really enjoy using Cirque. And I think the fabric I'm going to use is this one, which is another one of my little packages from Traditional Stitches. I'll link Traditional Stitches below as well. They have Fabric of the Month clubs for pretty much every single count and type of fabric. They're awesome. They ship quickly. They're fantastic. They're in either Calgary or Edmonton, Alberta. I can't remember which. But I think I'm going to use this 36 count Vintage Country Mocha linen by Zweigart, 36 count. This is showing it, it's a little bit washing it out a bit, but it's got this nice modeling, and I think that'll look really nice with the dark chestnut. I won't know for sure until that comes, and I ordered the Cirque threads from 123 Stitch, and they just shipped today, so I probably wouldn't be expecting to get them for like 2 weeks, but that's okay. So my plan is to stitch it on this 36 count linen. So that's gonna be super pretty, and I'm really excited for that. The silk stitching app I'm obsessed with because it tracks your progress for you. Like, you highlight stitches and it tells you like what percentage of the pattern you're complete, and that's like just very, very encouraging and rewarding. So speaking of the silk stitching app, I think I am putting away my Winter Wonderland piece, which was a stitch along for now, and I'll pick it up again next year. I'm not sure, we'll see. I might stitch on it throughout the year, but I think otherwise my plan is to finish it next year. A bunch of you have finished it and you're posted your pictures on Instagram, and it looks so good. And it was so much fun stitching along with all of you, and I loved it. So yeah, join us for this one. Okay, next stitch along. Oh my gosh, there's so many. This next one is by Quiltify Designs, and this is a monster. It's like 497 stitches by 463 stitches, or something ridiculously insane. The funniest thing about this is the designer thinks that we can finish it in a year. Yeah, I don't know how he thinks that's possible, but I mean, hey, we might as well try, right? My goal is just to start it for this year. So I signed up for this. You can get the pattern on his Etsy shop. Right now it's just, you just purchase it, but I think there was maybe like a page that told you a little bit about the design or something, but it's going to be pretty similar to Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery, that on the first of every month you'll get a next section. And the really cool thing about this chart is that I think the designer said there's something like 70 individual motifs, and each month you'll have 3 different options for what motifs to use. So you could really make this pretty much like your own unique sampler, which I think is super cool. I think Yamir from Almond M&Ms is also going to join in on this one, and knowing her, she's probably going to stitch this like over 1 on 56 count because she's just a glutton for punishment like that. So I'm really interested to see what she does. I decided I'm going to use this 37 count linen by Access Commodities, and I'm also going to use a sulky floss on it. I think this colorway is royal blue or something. It's some kind of blue, and I'll put the name of it on the screen. I'm sorry, I keep hitting the camera. I'll put the name of it on the screen. So that's why I didn't choose blue for the silk stitching piece, because I didn't want to do 2 blue samplers at once. But anyway, I'm really excited for this one. Like, it is going to be physically impossible to keep up with all of these stitch-alongs, but the fun is just starting them. Speaking of that, if any of you follow Park Hopper Bart on Instagram, a while ago he posted a free chart which said something like 50 stitches doth a new start make, or something like that, and I just loved it because I'm like, exactly, I just have to get 50 stitches into each of these pieces and then they're started. But I would like to finish some of them. Okay, last stitch along to talk about is the one that I am hosting along with Beth, who is the Desert Stitcher on Instagram, and we are hosting a stitch along for the Galliana Designs pattern, the bookcase, and I'm super excited to start this one. In my head, what I'm going to do is stitch the outline of the bookcase in brown, and then I'm going to stitch the books in all different colors. I have a whole bunch of overdyed flosses that I'm always like, oh, I want to substitute them in, but I'm not really sure how. So I think I'm going to try to be brave and do that for the books and just do them in all different colors. That is what I'm thinking right now. And my plan, I think I'm going to just stitch that on like a 32 count white linen, something like that, just something plain so that the colors really pop on it. That is starting on January 1st, so join us. You can get the chart as a PDF download from Galliana Designs Etsy shop, which I will link below, and I'd love to have you join. I've seen a bunch of you posting about it and excited to join in, and I can't wait to see everyone's progress. So if we're keeping track, how many stitch-alongs that I'm doing? Bookcase, History Stickmuster, Quiltify Designs, Modern Folk Embroidery, Made to Create. Am I missing one? At least 5 that are all starting in January, on top of all the other projects I have. Oh goodness, well, I am never bored, that's for sure. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found some inspiration in what I've shown today. One thing I was wondering about doing next week is filming a whip parade. I watched Jan Hicks' whip parade videos that she posted last week and thoroughly enjoyed them and felt extremely enabled by everything. And I was wondering if you guys would be interested in seeing a whip parade from me as well. I don't think I have quite as many projects as Jan, but I probably have like 40 or 50 whips. Probably, yeah. So that might be something I'll do next week on my week off. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. All right, so that's all for now. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're all doing well, staying safe. I know this is a really different holiday than most years have been. My family will be doing a Zoom Christmas get together on Christmas Day, but it's still so nice to be able to still gather together, even if it is electronically. And thankfully we have our stitching and our knitting to keep us happy and sane during these times. All right, that's all I have for today. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, Merry Christmas, and I'll see you soon. Bye.